Welcome to this presentation from the Wisconsin First Detector Network. This video was adapted from a Wisconsin First Detector Network training session. In this video, you'll hear Brian Hudelson from the Plant Disease Diagnostic Clinic talk about Cankers disease.
The other disease that will go to native trees in Wisconsin that we're watching for, again, we have not yet seen this in the state, is Cankers disease. This is a walnut disease. The initial observations of this were out in the Southwest, Arizona, California, particularly devastating in commercial walnut production for nut production. But it is potentially a devastating disease on black walnut as it occurs in its native setting. Also, if you have it in any sort of urban setting as an ornamental, it could potentially have cause issues as well. The initial symptoms that you're likely to see are going to be a thinning of the branches and a lightening or yellowing of the foliage. So watch for that upper canopy loss of leaves. If you see anything of that sort, I would start taking a look at larger branches. Anything an inch or larger in diameter, you may start to see these little tiny pinprick holes. And these are caused by an insect, the walnut twig beetle, that can carry the fungus that causes this particular disease. If you see these sorts of pinpricks, definitely get a sample into the clinic. What we're going to do is remove the bark and start to look for browning underneath the bark in association with those insects. And this can be a devastating, typically is a lethal disease on black walnut, primarily because oftentimes there are a lot of these insects that will visit the tree that are carrying the fungus, and every point where you have an insect come in, you will see a point of infection. If there were only one or two of these insects coming in bringing the fungus, it probably would not be an issue because the infections are relatively localized. We get so many of them that they kind of coalesce or grow together underneath the bark. That disrupts the water conducting tissue and eventually kills the branches. So all of this browning, these little individual areas are where individual insects came in and caused a problem. You may also see trails underneath the bark from the insect, and if you're lucky, you may see the larvae underneath, and also sometimes you may see the adults. But again, if you see this, please let us know. One of the major strategies for dealing with these new diseases as they arrive in a state is eradication. So the earlier we can identify the disease in the state, the more likely we're going to get it under control by eradication. I don't think long-term we'll be able to permanently keep it out of the state, but we might, if we can catch the initial infestations, we may be able to control them and eradicate them for a period of time. This particular disease has been identified as close as Indiana, so it's getting on our doorstep, quite frankly. And this is how you get a hold of me if you have any questions.
Thanks for watching this video from the Wisconsin First Detector Network. To learn more about our network or to access additional information about invasive species in Wisconsin, please visit our website or contact us.